Good morning, world. Welcome to another episode of Xendependently Minded. If you are a new or returning listener, I truly hope you enjoy this episode. Before we get into the episode, here's a brief disclaimer. Enjoy. The views and opinions expressed by past, present, and future guests of Xendependently Minded have not been expressed by me, and they may not even be shared by me. The views and opinions that I express are, of course, satirical. If you're confused, then try this thought experiment to help you understand. If you like what I said, or say, and you agree, then you can tell yourself that it is my real opinion, and it's not satirical. If you don't agree with what I say, and you're disgusted and repulsed by it, then obviously I'm just being satirical. Obviously, these aren't my real opinions, because this is clearly a character, and nobody would actually have these opinions, would they? Anyway, enjoy the episode. How's it going, guys? It's your they-them, nameless void entity known as the legacy slur media, back at it with some more propaganda. What's on the slate for today? Let me check my cue cards. Let's see. Number 1, forced diversity is not racist, and it is not harmful. Interesting trash take. The government shouldn't be audited despite being $37 trillion in debt.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
And last but not least, aircraft accidents are up because Trump fired a bunch of quality air traffic workers. He gutted DEI, and at the same time, he gutted the Federal Aviation Administration. No, actually, accidents related to aircraft are not up in the United States. It's just the media is reporting them to make Trump look like he's at fault here. So that's a lie, and obviously, the media is just over-reporting things because flying is one of the safest means of transportation that you can take in 2025. Anyway, there's a few things to talk about on this episode of Independently Minded. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're staying hydrated. Hope you're staying healthy. Hope you're drinking your horse dewormer, because I know a lot of people are getting sick right now. Get your fish tank cleaner and your horse dewormer on tap. Make sure you have it ready. Make sure you have it ready for your kids, for your dogs, for your horses, of course. Let's get into it. First thing I wanted to talk about. Trump has already gotten so much done in less than a month of being in office. He'll be hitting a month soon, in a couple days. But in a month, he's already managed to get, and this actually, if you remember, happened before he became president, officially before he was sworn in, but Trump has already gotten a ceasefire deal with Israel and Palestine. Hundreds of hostages are being returned to their homes in Palestine, if they have them still, to their homes in Israel. Trump has gotten Colombia, Mexico, Honduras, El Salvador, many of the Latin American countries to bend the knee. They played pretend for about 5 minutes about taking their own citizens back. They fought it off until the threat of tariffs brought them to their knees. El Salvador, who up until the last couple years, until they elected their newest president, I forget his name, but he's a cool guy. They were one of the most dangerous countries in the Americas, if not the most dangerous, as far as gun crime, violent crime, and just overall crime. They were one of the worst, and now they're one of the safer countries in Latin America because they got a president who became tough on crime. He started throwing all the gang members in prison. I believe MS-13 is from El Salvador, and they're one of the most deadly gangs. They're known for their activity in the United States. And he has even offered and has made a deal with the United States to imprison criminals that are deported from their states in their prisons. So they didn't fight back, they didn't push back, but they also even offered to imprison criminals that are U.S. citizens that we didn't want, which is pretty crazy. And the Panama Canal is now serving us and not China. China's really upset about that. But Trump has already made a lot of moves. There's two things specifically that I'm not a big fan of. One I'm going to talk about later, but Trump has already gotten a lot done, and I've been very happy to see this progress. At the same time, his cabinet positions are slowly getting confirmed. The SecDef was first, Mr. Pete Hegseth. Pete Hegseth actually came to Germany recently, so there was a big hubbub about it. There apparently had one of the U.S. middle schools on base. One of the bases here, there were middle school students that protested. So a bunch of 12-year-olds decided, really it showed how bad their parents are, how brain rotted they are. I guarantee you, I don't have to talk to any of these kids. I don't have to talk to any of their parents. I don't have to know anything about anything. I guarantee you, every talking point that they used, the 3 talking points they used, came from TikTok. And just a heads up, for anybody who listens, there's nothing wrong with using TikTok for entertainment. I myself like short form content. I like those quick reels from Instagram. But TikTok is not, I repeat, it is not a source for news. It is not a valid source for news. It's garbage. Get off of it. If you're a grown adult and you're using TikTok for news, stop it and get some help. But there were also some military spouses that were up in arms about Pete Hegseth visiting. He came. He did physical training with one of the special forces groups. He coined a couple people, a couple good generals, thanked them for their service, and went on his way. Now I know he went across Europe. He went somewhere. I think he went to Poland. Did some PT with those guys, thanked them for their service, because they're close. They're close to the action. We all know the reason why we're in Poland. Poland is the Polish military, and the NATO forces in Poland are clearly there to antagonize Russia, to help Ukraine defend its territory, and to kill people in Russia, and to occasionally get killed by their own missiles because a Ukrainian shot it into Poland on accident. But Tulsi Gabbard was just recently confirmed as the Director of National Intelligence, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was confirmed as the Secretary of the Health and Human Services. I've given my thoughts on both, but I'll reiterate them again. Tulsi Gabbard, best person for the job. I would have liked her as the Secretary of Defense, but I like Pete Hegseth as well. Pete Hegseth he's a real man. He's trying to get the wusses out of the military. He's a pro-veteran, former military guy, a pro-veteran veteran. There's no doubt in my mind that he truly wants what is best for those who are in and those who have served. Tulsi Gabbard has done multiple tours overseas in a medical unit. She has seen the corruption, the horrors of war up close and personally. She's lost brothers and sisters, and she's anti-establishment. I know a lot of people are not a fan of her stance on the Israel issue, but there are a couple of those people in Trump's cabinet, and none of them have kept him from pushing for peace and advocating for other interesting ideas. But RFK Jr., to me, is the most important cabinet selection for Trump ever. It is the most important selection he has made for a cabinet position out of any of his cabinet positions, which there's like thousands of appointees that he has to make. I cannot wait to see him crack down on the same crooks that are in bed with the USAID criminals. USAID, whatever you call it. I've heard it both ways. I don't give a crap. No wonder we're $37 trillion in debt. We're sending millions to Iraq for Sesame Street. We're sending millions overseas for things like Moroccan clay classes and Irish transgender photo shoots and garbage like that. Meanwhile, people at home cannot afford a $600 emergency. What are we doing here? $37 trillion in debt, and there are people pearl clutching about getting audited by Elon Musk. Oh, do you like that Elon Musk has access to these top secret, blop secret? What's top secret? Elizabeth Warren's her American Express spending? What's top secret? The fact that USAID and FEMA are being exposed for putting all their supposed disaster relief employees and volunteers, quote unquote, in the most expensive hotels, ordering room service. FEMA spent something like $55 million, I believe, on luxury hotels alone in the Carolinas during the hurricanes. And people are up in arms claiming, you know the funniest line I've heard about this is, you know that this USAID relief, this stuff is, this funding, this goes towards disaster relief and poverty aid. Does it look like USAID is helping disaster relief? Does it look like the Californians who saw their houses burned down are grateful for USAID? Does it look like homeless people, the homeless population, is benefiting from USAID? Screw off with your pearl clutching. Keep crying. Cry harder. Elon Musk is exposing you clowns. Bunch of people are getting laid off. Oh, I got laid off of my 30-year cushy job where I was pretending to teach children, where I was making their lives worse. I was setting them up for failure. Oh, Elon Musk, I can't believe this. Screw off. The next thing I wanted to talk about, Keir Starmer, dumbass donkey, corrupt clown fool. He is the current Prime Minister of the UK. I know it's hard to keep track of the Prime Ministers of the UK because they're all so incompetent. They're all such clowns. They're all just worthy of disrespect. Not worthy of anything positive. I have nothing positive to say about Boris Johnson. I have nothing positive to say about Keir Starmer. I have nothing positive to say about the other clown that came for 2 seconds after Boris Johnson. I think it was a lady. I can't remember her name. I don't care. This piece of garbage has the EU hoping that he's going to reset Brexit, and it'll be like a re-entrance. A re-entrance. I don't know what you'd call it. So if one man, quote unquote, can reset a decision that was democratically chosen by the people of the United Kingdom is permanently lost, if it's not already. Many people say it is. I don't believe it is yet. Why have elections? Why have a democratic process? The European Union doesn't benefit strong nations. It never has. It only benefits in developing or struggling nations that need aid, aka mostly Eastern European countries still recovering from the post-Soviet Union collapse. So, and Greece and Portugal. And it makes travel easy. That's really it. The EU has repeatedly withheld aid and funds that are supposed to be used on nations like Poland and Romania if these countries don't adhere to their agendas. This is like Tulsi Gabbard getting told, oh, you want to endorse Bernie Sanders instead of Hillary Clinton? Step down from your position. We're going to withhold funding from your district in Hawaii. Hawaiians, who are notorious for not being well off, though it is the most expensive place in the United States and one of the most expensive places in the world to live, Hawaiians are not well off. We're going to withhold funding as a means to punish you for stepping out of line as a Democrat. We don't do that here. Hungary is paying a daily fine, like millions of euros, daily, for refusing to take Middle Eastern refugees. Romania has to overturn and have a new election because their president won a party. He won the election running on a peace platform. He's not a Russian asset. He doesn't like Putin. He doesn't like Zelensky. He likes Romania. He's running for Romania. He's going to lead for Romania. The EU ruins individual countries' sovereignty. And the EU, Brexit, Britain, the United Kingdom noticed this. They understood this. They'd been wanting to leave for a while, and they left. And now this clown, donkey, scumbag, snaggletooth, corrupt demon, Keir Starmer, single-handedly wants to make the decision to rejoin the EU and further advance the collapse of the United Kingdom. I hope this doesn't happen. This would be a bad move. There are other countries that have floated leaving the EU. I believe the AfD, the rising in popularity political party I'm going to talk a little bit about later, they have floated the idea. They want NATO to be a defensive alliance, which is a different alliance, but it's, the EU and NATO, a lot of the countries are interchangeable. And Italy has floated the idea of leaving the EU, and I support them. I absolutely support them. Italy is one of the top contributors of the EU. So the top 5 contributors of the EU before the UK left was Germany was number 1, UK was number 2, Italy was up there, and the Netherlands, and I don't remember the last one. And then the biggest recipients of aid were like Greece, Portugal, Poland, I believe Romania, and probably some other small Baltic state, Estonia, Lithuania or something. But I hope this doesn't happen, because the people chose and the people deserve to have their voices heard. That's what happened. People voted on Brexit. End of story. You deal with the consequences, you deal with the ramifications or the benefits. Unfortunately, the UK left Brexit probably a little too late, decade and a half too late, because the globalist talons have ingrained themselves in the skin of the UK. We're still seeing knife attacks. We're still seeing a specific car manufacturer being involved in accidents. There was 2 new incidents on my side of this beautiful continent. One of them was in Austria. One of them was in Germany. I'm going to talk about a little bit later. Actually, I'm going to talk about that now. Germany just had its latest terrorist attack that unfortunately has so far killed a mother and daughter. The monster was an Afghan asylum seeker who shouted Allah repeatedly after crashing his car through a crowd of people. If you want to see evil in action, watch the video of this guy getting apprehended. He's just shouting fervently, ferociously, just shouting Allah. And it's not with love, as lots of people would like you to think, as those who have witnessed their neighborhoods turn into some of the most dangerous places in Europe. They'll insist that it's the religion of peace and that these people are just traumatized because the West has blown up their people, and so they have to take little boy pleasure toys. They have to drive cars through union protests. They have to take knives and stab people in trains. You don't understand this. You don't understand this. Scumbags like Olaf Scholz, who sucks so much ass. He is the current Prime Minister of Germany. He sucks so much that they held a vote of no confidence, and he was voted out. He lost because of how terrible he's doing, how terrible he's done leading Germany, the most powerful country in the European Union. And they're holding a special election in a couple weeks, and I think it's February 26th, actually, so it's coming. Scumbags like him attack J.D. Vance, Vice President J.D. Vance, for his call to action while he was at the Munich Security Conference. His call to action was basically to stop demonizing free speech, stop destroying free speech. You can't have democracies if you don't have free speech. And you guys need to do better, is basically what J.D. Vance said. And Olaf Scholz took issue with this. He took issue to this. Meanwhile, Germany is experiencing higher crime, more terrorist attacks. I've been here for 6 years. I would know. Economic struggles, inflation, and they're trying to silence a populist political party. Speaking of that, I saw an AfD poster. If you guys don't know, the AfD is the MAGA equivalent political party here in Germany. There have been 2 major elections since I've been here, since I've moved here in 2019. And the AfD has slowly gained popularity. A lot of the youth don't like them because they think that they're Nazis. If you look at their website and you check out their handbook of the things that they believe, they are not Nazis. They are, like I said, the MAGA equivalent party here in Germany. They're a populist party. They're a pro-Germany party. They want NATO to be a defensive alliance. They want to crack down on illegal and legal immigration. They don't like the idea of certain government positions being held specifically for refugees, for people from other countries. This is a real thing. You can look this up. I want to say in Hamburg, there was a uproar because there were various city council positions that said you could not be German. You cannot be German to work on the city council in a city in Germany. So I saw this AfD poster. It stands for Alternative for Deutschland. Deutschland. So I saw a poster the other day that was vandalized. It had spray paint across it that said F. It said F AfD. So I did a little bit of hypothetical research and I looked up what the penalty is to do something like this, because I see a lot of SPD, FPD. The FPD and the SPD are like the liberal parties. They coalesced. They created a coalition. That's how they got into power. Their coalition fell apart because people were getting fired, and then the vote of no confidence got Olaf Scholz out. The FPD stands for like Free Democracy Party, Deutschland, and SPD stands for some garbage similar to that. So I see posters like them all over the place in my neighborhood, and I wondered what would happen if I went and took a dump on one of those posters. What if I flung cow shit on one of the posters? What if I spray painted F SPD, vote AfD, or F the FPD, vote AfD? What if I said this? What if I did this? Turns out the penalty is imprisonment or a hefty fine, because these political posters are technically federal property. They are political campaign property. But unfortunately, Germany has a two-tier justice system, similar to the UK. Germany doesn't care. You know the reasoning behind why it's such a hefty fine and such a an actual prison, being imprisoned, why you get a prison term, why you're labeled as a felon if you damage political merchandise, political tools, political supplies, because they claim that interferes with the democratic process. Never mind people spray painting on the pro-Germany populist political parties signs, the AfD. No. That's not democracy. That's brave, because they're too comfy. They cozy up to the Nazis. They're terrible. Even if the AfD wins in this, even if they gain more ground, which they will, it's expected to. All of us Americans, we're getting warnings every single day to avoid major cities because they're expecting lots of wins for the AfD in this election. Even if they win, it doesn't matter. Similar to the UK, the globalists, they went after the most powerful countries immediately. Italy, believe it or not, is one of the most powerful European Union countries, and that's why they're being forced to take boatloads of migrants from Africa. And their brave Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni, has been pushing back on this. She's been deporting them. She's been smeared. She's been attacked. And she's been embraced by more populist, conservative-esque leaders like Donald Trump, Viktor Orban, and Germany and the UK being the most powerful countries in Europe. The globalist talons, the globalist teeth have sunk so deep in it. I don't think it matters if the AfD wins. The globalists will end up winning, and they'll probably just fine Germany every day. They'll do something like the EU Commission on healthy speech has decided that we're going to fine Germany every single day that they're on Twitter, for every tweet about Jews, for every tweet about Muslims, for every tweet about so-and-so. We're going to fine Germany, and Germany will continue to fall into obscurity. Their economy will continue to suffer. Cost of living will continue to become ridiculous and untenable. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they just overturn this election, just like they did in Romania. I wouldn't be surprised. Europe is almost at the point of no return, unfortunately. The last thing I wanted to talk about. So, Trump has floated the idea, and he's even doubled down on the idea of rebuilding Gaza. And I say no thanks to that. I would rather rebuild America. Then we can maybe talk about rebuilding Gaza. Or better yet, how about we just don't waste our time, because what's going to happen is Israel is going to blow it up anyways. Unless that's the plan. Unless the plan is to let our defense contractors sink their teeth into Gaza, into the rubble in Gaza, allow them to rebuild, let Israel blow it up, rebuild again, then it's just an endless, you have an infinite money glitch at that point. You're putting in that up down, left right select code and just injecting $1 billion into specific companies that politicians are most likely a part of, most likely heavily invested in. They're going to golf courses with a lot of the CEOs of Halliburton, Lockheed Martin, KBR. By the way, I'm ready. I'm ready for work. If you guys need somebody, you need a site manager, you need someone who with air freight experience, hit me up. I'll go rebuild Gaza for you. I'll do it for a fraction of what you're paying these guys. I kid. But I would rather us rebuild America. This could be an attempt at getting the Arab nations to address the Palestine issue so America can stop caring. Because if you've noticed, if you pay attention to history, not only it's past the point of apathy for many of these Arab nations, especially the developed ones, the ones that are some of the safest countries in the world, like Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Qatar. These places, they don't care about Palestine. They've said it repeatedly. Their leaders have said, I don't care about Palestine. Palestinian issue means nothing to me. What the issues that matter to me are the issues that plague citizens of Saudi Arabia, citizens of Qatar, citizens of United Arab Emirates. And then if you go back a few decades, these countries were also bombing the crap out of Palestinians, bombing the crap out of Israel, bombing the crap out of Gaza. They don't care. And this could be Trump's attempt at getting them to care. He's talked about making it livable for Palestinians, calling it, he said it would be like the French Riviera of the Middle East. He's guaranteed making it livable so that after Palestinians are displaced, they'll be allowed to return and they'll have a safe, clean, developed place to live. I guarantee it would just turn into settlements for Israelis. So let's just stay out of it. On the bright side, Trump is going to facilitate Russia-Ukraine peace talks in Saudi Arabia soon. So a month in, Trump has already, at least for the time being, for the next couple weeks at least, ended the war in Gaza, and he is getting close to ending the war in Ukraine. I mean, who could complain about this? Oh, sorry, I know. Millions of people, and entire legacy slur media entities have been complaining about it. But that's going to do it for this episode as Independently Minded. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Hope you got something out of it, positive, negative, or neutral. I hope you're staying safe. Hope you're staying warm. Hope you're staying hydrated, caffeinated, Percocet up, SSRI up, or whatever. That's going to come to a close soon. RFK Jr. is going to kick down the wall. He's going to confiscate your Uncrustables. He's going to take your red dye number 40. He's going to flush your SSRIs down the toilet. And we're going to be the healthiest nation we've been in a long, long time. Believe that. The only recommendation I have for you guys is to check out Bob Dylan. I know I sound like a child. And no, this isn't because of the movie. I have not seen Timothée Chalamet's biopic about Bob Dylan. It's a little strange to do one on a guy that's still alive, but people have said a lot of good things about it. I haven't seen it yet. I just started listening to Bob Dylan. I'd always knew about him. I'd always loved folk music. One of my favorite artists of all time is John Denver. But I just never got around to listening to his music, and I started. I don't know what songs to start with. Just type in Bob Dylan and hit play and listen to the playlist. He's got some beautiful music. Some of the best lyrics, some of the best songwriting I've ever heard, to be completely honest. His music is great, and I'm glad I got to discover it when I did. So check out Bob Dylan if you haven't already. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. Check out the merch shop All proceeds get donated to the Child Mind Institute, a nonprofit organization aimed at helping families that have children that suffer from mental illness. Get some merch so you can support the show, support the podcast. That's the same thing. Support a great nonprofit. Support your family. What the heck? Get them a tumbler. Get them some decals. Get them a hoodie. The heck, your kid is freezing out there. It's cold as heck. The storms across the east of the United States. Take care of your people. Get them some merch. What are you waiting for? Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll catch you on the next episode. As always, stay safe. Stay away from those crazies out there. Thank you.